The short answer to this question is no. Getting divorced doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go to court. There are two separate elements to deal with on the breakdown of a marriage. One of them is the divorce, and that is the process of formally and legally ending your marriage. And the second element is separating your finances. The divorce itself, so ending the marriage, is largely a paperwork exercise, and it would be very unusual and in exceptional circumstances to need to attend court as part of this. Most of the divorce process is now carried out online. So the second separate element is dealing with how to separate your finances. And this is where there is a potential to end up in court proceedings. When you are married, you have potential claims against each other by virtue of your marriage. And it can be difficult, especially when dealing with the emotional side of your marriage breakdown, to sensibly work out how to divide your assets. So there are a number of different process options that you can use to help you work out a conclusion to these issues. One option is to have conversations directly between you and your spouse. Depending on the circumstances of your separation, you may feel that this is something you're comfortable with, or you may not. If you don't feel comfortable in having those conversations, another option could be to have the conversations at arm's length through solicitor's correspondence. This is a way of focusing issues and really getting to the point and reaching a conclusion, but without having to have direct conversations with your spouse. A further option would be to attend mediation. This still involves a conversation between you and your spouse, but with a third person present, in this case, an impartial mediator. They are essentially there to help you have those conversations and to keep you on track, even when having to discuss really difficult issues. An alternative option is a process called collaborative law, and we have many collaboratively trained lawyers at Whitehead Monckton who can give you further advice on this option. You and your spouse would each appoint separate collaboratively trained lawyers, and you would all come together for a series of roundtable meetings to try and reach a conclusion to the financial issues. You both have to sign an agreement to commit to dealing with matters collaboratively and to try and keep things outside of court. And this commitment to using this process can really help to, again, focus on the issues and reach a conclusion. Another option would be arbitration, and this involves you appointing an arbitrator to make a decision based on all of the facts in your case. It's essentially like having a private judge to make the decision, and their decision is binding. It just means that you don't have to go through the court process. And finally, the last resort would be to go to court. This involves a series of hearings and a significant amount of information gathering in order to reach a conclusion to the financial issues. It is a fairly time-consuming and expensive process, but the benefit is that you have a timetable in place to make sure that you reach a conclusion to the issues in your case. So overall, getting divorced does not necessarily mean that you have to go to court, but it is one of the options available to you in order to resolve financial matters. At Whitehead Monckton, we are members of Resolution, which is a family organisation committed to trying to resolve matters in a constructive and amicable way, and by agreement if possible. This means that we will try to help keep your case out of court, although it is, of course, one of the options if required.